and welcome back to my channel. And to the start of this reading vlog for the Bookoplathon and the Magical Readathon, which both of them are month-long readathons that I'm doing in September. I don't really know if this will be a reading vlog. It might be more just of a series of reading updates. Basically, I just haven't been quite sure what I was going to do with vlogging for this readathons, because I wasn't going to make a month-long vlog. That would just be a vlog that would be too long, basically. And I also didn't want to do 4 week-long vlogs, because I mean that's just too much vlogging for me. I didn't really want to do that, so I think what I'm going to do is just film some updates here and there, just to give you an idea of how I'm doing with the readathons and which books I have completed and what I thought about the books and things like that. And I think depending on how much I film and how much I have to say, I might split it into 2 videos. So I might post one at the half point of the month, and then the second one at the end of the month or at the start of October or something like that. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that yet, but that's kind of the plan for now. Also, I'm starting this vlog a lot later than I planned. I was going to start this vlog on September 1st, which was when the readathon started, or the readathons, I should say. But basically, I just haven't had a very good week. At the start of the week, I was at a work trip for a couple of days, and I don't like work trips at all. So I was just mentally exhausted when I got home from that one. And then the day after that, I went and I got my second COVID vaccine. And I got pretty sick after that one, which apparently is pretty normal, so I wasn't stressed about it or anything, but I just wasn't feeling good for a few days. So that's kind of why I haven't started this vlog until now. Today it's September 5th, by the way, so it's 5 days later than what I planned to start this vlog, but I just wasn't feeling well enough to be on camera, basically. I have been reading though, maybe not as much as I would have normally done or as much as I hoped to do, but I have been reading and I have started books for both readathons. But I think to start off this video, I just want to go through the readathons and my TBRs for the readathons, which is actually overlapping a lot, and it's also overlapping a lot with my September TBR, which is great for me. But that means that these books will kind of be repeats of what I talked about in my September TBR. So I'm not going to go into what the books are about. I'm just going to go through the prompts and which book I'm planning to read for the prompts. So let's start with the Magical Readathon. For this readathon, I will link the announcement video down below so you can read about this readathon if you're interested. It's just I love this readathon. I just am so impressed by this entire thing. Basically, it's just entire world that is being created for this readathon, and there's a map, and there's just a background story, and there's just all the stuff, and I love it. So go check it out if you're interested. But basically, you're going through a path for this readathon. It's called a Novice path, and there are 7 prompts for this path, and you have to complete at least 2 in order to complete it. I am planning to go for 5, so I'm going to go through the 5 prompts that I picked out and what I'm planning to read for these prompts. So the first prompt is the Novice path entrance, and that prompt is to read a book with a map. And for this one, I'm actually reading My Brother's Husband, Volume 1. And this might not be an obvious choice for this prompt, but I was just looking for a book that I could use for this prompt. And this one is a manga, so there are a lot of illustrations in here, obviously. So I was just kind of flipping through it to see if it, maybe possibly there was a map somewhere in here. And there actually was. One of the characters in here at some point is using a map, because he is in an area that he doesn't know, so he uses it to get around, basically. So that worked perfectly. There is a map in here, so I'm using this book for that prompt. And then the second prompt is Ashtorn Tree, a book that keeps tempting you or is at the top of your TBR. And for this one, I'm reading Royal Assassin by Robin Hood. This one, I've just been so eager to continue with this series ever since I reread Assassin's Apprentice this summer. So this one was definitely like very high on my TBR. It wasn't quite in my plans to read it in September, but due to things that happened, a certain Bookoplathon prompt that turned up, I kind of needed to read a big book. So that's why this book is on my TBR, but it works perfectly for the Magical Readathon as well. And then the next prompt is The Mist of Solitude, which is to read a standalone. And for this one, I'm going to read The Song of Achilles. This one will be my audiobook for the month, and I'm pretty sure it's a standalone, so that would work. Then we have Obsidian Falls, read a thriller or a mystery book. And for this one, I'm going to read Variable Onset by Layla Rain, which is a romantic suspense, mystery, thriller, some kind of book like that. Haven't started it yet, so I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I think it would work pretty well for this prompt. And then the final prompt that I'm doing for the Magical Readathon is Tower of Romination, I think it is, which is to read a 5-star prediction. And for this one, I'm going to read Virgin Flyer by Lucy Lennox. Which may not be like an obvious choice for this prompt, because I have read another Lucy Lennox book before and it wasn't my favorite. But I just have heard so many good things about this one, and so many people seem to love it, and I've just been really excited to check it out. So I have high hopes that it will be, if not a 5-star book, at least a book that I'm really going to enjoy. So I think it will work for this prompt. So that's kind of what I plan to do for the Magical Readathon. There is also the option to do prompts and read book to kind of work on your character for this universe, but I'm not really planning to do that this month. You don't have to do it this month, I think. You need to do that by the start of April, which is kind of where part 2 of this readathon is happening. As long as you've done it by then, you will be fine, I think. So it's not really in my plans to do it this month, but of course if I have time I might try and look into that one as well. But yeah, that's my TBR for the Magical Readathon. And then we have the Bookoplathon, and I have already done my roles for this readathon, and I am kind of regretting that I didn't film it, because I didn't. But basically I don't really have a board. I just used the board on my computer, and I used like digital dice to do my roles, and I don't really know how well it would have worked out if I tried to film it. But basically I decided to do 5 roles for the Bookoplathon. I figured that would be a good number, because if you roll doubles, so 2 of the same number, you need to add an extra prompt for each double. So I figured if I did 5, that would give me some room to add some extra prompts in case I got doubles as well. I actually didn't get any doubles though, so I'm kind of left with those 5 prompts. But let me just quickly go through the roles that I did and what prompts I landed on. I will try and maybe like put the board on the screen so you can look at it while I'm going through these. But basically my first roll was a 2 and a 6, so that is 8, and I landed on gods. And for this one I figured the Song of Achilles would probably be a good choice, and that was already on my September TBR, so that worked perfectly. And then the second roll, I rolled a 4 and a 5, which is 9, and I landed on Community Shelf card. And for this prompt, you kind of need to pick a prompt from a stack of like cards with prompts on them. I haven't actually done that yet, so I don't know what I'm reading for this prompt. I figured I'd just do that at some point in this video or the next video I'm doing, in case I'm doing 2. So there is definitely an extra book that I need to add this month, which I don't know what is yet, so that will be exciting. And then roll number 3, I got a 1 and a 6, which is 7, and I landed on Spooky. And for this one, I plan to read Variable Onset by Layla Rain, which is a romantic mystery suspense type of book. Maybe I'm stretching things a little bit here, because I don't necessarily think it's very spooky. But like, I read the instructions for the different prompts on the board, and it was mentioned there that a thriller or mystery type books could work for this prompt, so I think it's fine. I'm doing it anyway. Then roll number 4, I got a 6 and a 2, and I landed on POC wrap. And for this one, I'm reading the second novella in the Binti series, and that is Sacred Fire. And then the final roll that I got for the Bookoplathon was a 2 and a 3, which is 5, and it landed me on Big Book. And basically, that is the entire reason I'm reading Royal Assassin this month, because I needed a big book. This one is definitely a big book. It's 650 pages long, and yeah, so that is my TBR for the Bookoplathon. I think since I didn't get any doubles, and if I feel like if I'm doing really well with my reading this month basically, and I finish my TBRs early, I might add an extra roll for the Bookoplathon, maybe. I guess we'll see. I'll get back to that if that's the case, but for now I think I just have enough to do with the books that are already on my TBR, so I guess we'll see about that. So I feel like this update is already entirely too long, but I figured I'll just give you a little bit of an update on how I'm doing with the books that I've started so far as well. Basically, since the Magical Readathon is kind of a path that I'm going on, I thought I might try and kind of like read the book in order that I meet them on that path, if that makes sense. Which is not going to work out entirely for me, because I have 2 books that I'm kind of reading throughout the entire month, which is Royal Assassin and the Song of Achilles. But I figured, like, apart from those, I'll just try and do them in the order that they come up. So that means that the first book I'm going to have to read is My Brother's Husband, and I have actually already started this. I think I might be able to finish it today because it's a pretty quick book to read. I just started it this week, one because, like I said, it's the first book on my path, so I figured I start there. But also because I just like needed something kind of easy to read while I was feeling sick, so this one was just a good one to read during those couple of days. And then the second book then will be Royal Assassin, which I said I have already started, but it's just super big and I will probably maybe need to take some breaks from this one. So I am planning to reading this one throughout the entire month basically, and maybe take some breaks from it here and there and read other things. But I have started it, so that is the second book. And then the next book would be The Song of Achilles. It's kind of the same with that one. That is the audiobook that I'm listening to for the entire month, or most of the month I would expect. So I have started it. I started it yesterday. I am really enjoying it so far, so that is good. But yeah, I will probably work on that one and listening to it a little bit here and a little bit there throughout most of the month, I think. And then the fourth book would be Variable Onset, and I'm actually planning on starting on that one as soon as I've finished My Brother's Husband. I don't want to have too many books going at the same time, so I figured it was a good idea to just finish up that one first, but I am expecting to probably complete that book today, so that would mean I would probably start with Variable Onset maybe tomorrow. And then the final book for the Magical Readathon then would be Virgin Flyer, so I will start that one after I have finished Variable Onset. So that is the plan. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this update. I've already been talking entirely too long. But basically that is what's on my TBR. That's how I'm doing with my reading so far. I mean, I'm enjoying the books that I've started, so that is good. And I'll probably get back maybe in a couple of days and talk about what I might have finished. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. So, time for a quick reading update. Today is the 11th, I think, which means we're over a third into the month and into these 2 readathons that I'm currently participating in, which is crazy. And I haven't actually finished a whole lot of things so far. I've actually only finished 1 book. But I've made pretty good progress on some of the other things I'm currently reading, so I think I'm doing okay. But as for the book that I finished, that is My Brother's Husband Volume 1. This one was pretty quick to finish. I think I mentioned in an earlier update that I was almost done with this one. So I finished it a few days ago. This one was great. I loved it. It's basically about... so we have our main character, Yaichi, and his young daughter, Kana. And one day there is a guy coming to their house, just standing on their doorstep, and that is Mike. And he is a Canadian guy who was married to Yaichi's brother. But Yaichi haven't actually seen his brother for many years, ever since his brother left Japan many years ago. I think maybe like 10 years ago or something. So now Mike is in Japan because Ryoji, I think is the brother's name, he passed away. And now Mike just wants to learn about Japan and about, he wants to know his brother-in-law and his niece, basically. So that's why he's there. And Yaichi, he is a little bit reluctant to like accept Mike into his house and his life. Because like basically he is pretty homophobic. And he struggles to kind of accept the relationship that Mike had with his brother. But Kana, his young daughter, she is really the one who just embraces Mike and just convinces Yaichi to let him stay with them. And that is basically like the premise of this book. There's just a lot of themes discussed in here that I really enjoyed. There's obviously the cultural difference, which was a thing for me as well. I haven't read a ton of books set in Japan, so I definitely learned a thing or two from this. And then obviously there are themes about like family and acceptance. And all of the three characters in here, they just kind of have their own journey, and it's just fascinating to see them like coming together and getting closer. I would say the star of this story is definitely Kana, the young girl. She is really the one who is bridging the gap between Mike and Yaichi, especially in the beginning. And she is the one who's just asking all the critical questions, like when Yaichi kind of hints at being a little bit skeptical of Mike and his relationship with his brother. Kana, she's the one who just asks why is that problem? And that makes Yaichi think as well. So yeah, I would say this one was definitely a really good book. I am excited to pick up the sequel. I think I will do that pretty soon, because this one just didn't really have an ending. It was kind of like it ended just like mid-story. So the second volume is probably meant to be read like immediately after this one. So I will try and pick it up. If not this month, then maybe next month. My one like tiny complaint about this one is maybe that the things that we were supposed to learn from this were just being made maybe a little bit too obvious. Like they didn't, for me at least, they didn't have to be quite as obvious as they were. But then I'm also realizing that maybe I'm not the like main audience for this book, so maybe that's just a thing that I'm noticing. But yeah, that's kind of like my one tiny little complaint, because overall I thought this was great. Haven't quite settled on a rating yet, but maybe like 4.5. This was just really good. So yeah, that is my first book done. And this one was for, let me just consult my computer for a second. Yeah, this was for my first task for the Magical Readathon, which is the Novice path entrance. And the task was to read a book with a map, and this one had a map. So that's the first task done, and then for task number 2, 3 and 4 for the Magical Readathon, I'm currently reading the book for those. One of the books I'm reading is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I've actually made pretty good progress with this one. I'm about halfway through, which I'm really happy with. I wanted to get kind of a good start on this one early in the month because it's such a big book, and I know that it's going to take me some time to complete it. So I'm about halfway through right now. I'm really enjoying it. Not surprised by that at all. And then I'm also reading The Song of Achilles on audio, and I'm also reading Variable Onset by Layla Rain as an ebook. And that one I am about 70% into, so today is Saturday, so I expect to finish that one this weekend. Maybe today? We'll see, I guess. don't have too much left of that one. So that means that when I've completed those 3 books, I only have 1 book left for the Magical Readathon, so that is great. For Bookoplathon, I haven't finished any books yet because my brother's husband doesn't complete any prompts for that readathon. So, but 3 of the books, the 3 books that I'm currently reading, will count for that readathon, and then for that I have 2 books that I have yet to start, including 1 book that I don't know what is yet because I haven't picked the prompt. I will probably do that in part 2 of this reading vlog, I think. So yeah, that is my reading update for now. As usual, I've talked way longer than I wanted to or expected to. But I think I'll probably make a new reading update in a couple of days when I have hopefully finished at least 1 more book and then maybe started something else as well. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I'll talk to you in a couple of days probably. So, hello. I'm actually here to wrap up this video now. I don't think I mentioned it earlier in this vlog, but I've actually decided to do 2 vlogs for this month or for these readathons. So I'm going to end the first one today because today is the 15th. So we're exactly halfway through the month. So I figured that was a good time to end this one and start the next one. So this will be my last update in this vlog. But before I finish it up, I want to go through the things that I've finished since I talked to you last. I've actually finished 2 more things. The first one is Variable Onset by Leila Rain. For the Magical Readathon, this is for the prompt to read a thriller or a mystery book. And for the Bookoplathon, this is for the prompt Spooky. So this book is a romantic mystery, I want to say. It's about 2 characters who go undercover as a couple because they are trying to catch a serial killer who mainly targets couples. And these 2 characters, they have a bit of a past, I guess. I mean, they know each other from a few years back when one of the characters was the other one's instructor. And one of them had like a crush on the other one, but like nothing happened at that point. But like now they meet again and things do happen, and they're trying to catch this killer. I actually really liked this book. It was very, like the mystery I thought was pretty good, which is when I read like a mystery type book, that's one of the main things that I'm focusing on. I want a really good mystery, and this one was pretty good at least. I also thought the writing in this book was really good. I liked the 2 main characters. I liked the romance. I mean, obviously with a romantic mystery type book, the romance plot is a little bit more in the background because, you know, we're mainly focusing on the mystery. And I guess when I read romance, I do prefer the romance to be a little bit more in the focus. But with that being said, and with this being this type of book, I really did enjoy this one more than I have a few other romances in this subgenre, I guess. So all in all, this was just like a fun experience to read. I will mention one little thing that maybe wasn't that great. I just felt like, how do I explain this? Like the connection between the different clues were a little bit, wasn't the best, I guess. Like the characters, they would have this clue and they would be like, oh yes, it has to be like this based on that. And I would be like, what? Why did you think that? What? This doesn't make sense. Basically, I couldn't really follow their thought process. And they would kind of jump to conclusions really quickly based on not really a lot at all. And I kind of struggled to keep up with them really in that way. So there were just kind of a lot of things that didn't quite make sense to me at times. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. Basically, it was a little bit of a mess, I'm not gonna lie, but it was an entertaining mess, so I'm not sure that I really mind that much. But I guess like when I'm reading a mystery, I would like things to make a little bit more sense maybe than what I felt it did in this book. So that's my like one little complaint. But like I said, it was entertaining and I had fun reading this one, so I don't really mind that much. So I mean, all in all, this feels like 4-star read maybe. I really did like this one. And then the second thing that I have finished is Binti. The story is called Sacred Fire. This is, I think I mentioned in my TBR that this was the second book in the series. I don't actually think that's true. I think this is more of a short story set between book number 1 and 2 in the series. So this is like a 1.5 book or something. It's pretty short. It's shorter than the first book. Don't really know how long. It might be considered more of a short story actually, because it's really not that long. But this one basically covers like the aftermath of what happened in the first book, and that was something that I was missing a little bit. I think I mentioned in my wrap up probably that I just felt that the first story was kind of rushed, and I was kind of just wanting more from it, and I did feel like I got a little bit more of what I was missing in this short story. So that is good. And I continue to find the universe really fascinating. I really like the writing style. But like, my main issue with this series so far is that I'm just not really engaged. I don't really care that much, or as much as I would like when I read a book series. So yeah, I'm not enjoying it as much as I would like, basically. I don't know if that would maybe change if I continue reading the series. I do own the last 2 books as well, so I will probably read them at some point. And I think those are longer as well. So maybe that will help. I don't know. But for now, I think I would probably give this book or story 3 stars as well. That's the same as I gave the first one. And also this doesn't cover any prompts for the Magical Readathon, but for Bookoplathon it's for the prompt POC wrap. So that's the thing that I finished since my last update. So now I've finished 3 things. I'm still making progress with some other things. And I have a couple of things that I've yet to start, but I will cover those in part 2 of this vlog, basically. So I think it's time to end this one now. I'm probably just going to end it and then go right over and start the next one. So you'll probably see me in this same spot with this same outfit at the start of the next vlog. But that's going to be it for now. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I don't really know how good it is. It's basically me just sitting in the same spot talking about the books I read, but you know, that's what you're getting. But yeah, I'm going to end this vlog now. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always hit like down below, or you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye!